And glory, America. Bonjour, hi, Canada. It's Hugh Hewitt. Good Wednesday morning to you. Boy, what a good day it was yesterday on Wall Street, and that is my lead story of the morning because it's happening again overseas. How do we know that we are over the rough patch with the virus? How do we know we're reopening? You look at markets. Markets are great forecasters of what is happening. The Dow soared 530 points yesterday on big hopes for a vaccine. Not just one company, another one announced a great optimistic set of results for a vaccine. Novavax started a COVID-19 vaccine trial in Australia. The company's shares rose 4.5%. Now, that comes after AstraZeneca, Moderna, all three of them in 3 days of broadcasting, yesterday, today, and Friday past, I announced different vaccines look very good. We're going to get a cure for this. We're going to get a vaccine for this sooner rather than later. The therapeutics are rolling out as well. And what I like especially is broad-based market rallies. The only stock I own is Amazon, so mostly I have mutual funds, and mutual funds love broad-based stock rallies. And most of you have mutual funds. And Amazon's been doing just fine, but I've been worried about the broader market. And this is brought to you, by the way, by Birch Gold. I'll talk to you about Birch Gold in just a second. Text my name, Hugh, to 474747 to get the very best in gold opportunities out there, especially for your IRA and your 401k, which needs to be diversified. But the Dow yesterday went up 529 points. The NASDAQ went up 15 points, and the S&P went up 36. So the NASDAQ is tech heavy. It's the one that's been making all the money during the disaster because Amazon, among others, have been the new fair-haired child of everyone in America. Instacart, all the Costco, Walmart, people who deliver to you have just been doing great. Now, that's not going to change. The world has changed, and I can't help big box retail stores. But I'll tell you what the fetching Mrs. Hewitt and I did yesterday for the first time in 10 weeks. We walked and got ice cream from an ice cream store that was open and that had a steady business and had social distancing, and it was great. And there are hundreds of people out doing what they normally do. It will be another few days, and sidewalk dining will be open, and the malls are reopening. Gavin Newsom is reopening California. Everything is reopening. And if you look down at the markets that are, Japan, of course, has already been open and closed. They're so far ahead of us in terms of hours. I always have to explain that to the Steelers fans. We're not running a race with Japan. It's just their day starts earlier. They're in the East. Their stocks went up 0.7%. Very healthy day in Japan. Right now, the English and German markets, which are getting close to the end of their day of trading, up 1.5% and 1.8% respectively. That's great news. The 10-year Treasury's at 0.7%. It's rising. That's great news. Oil remains above $34. That's great news. Meanwhile, gold has entered the entry point. It's below 1,700 again, 1,696. And that means if you are not yet diversified, you must diversify, especially in your IRA and your 401k. I tell you this every single day. Go to hughgold.com or text Hugh, H-U-G-H, to 474747 and get the information from Birch Gold. They'll sell you gold if you just want to put it in your safety deposit box, or you can diversify. And you should, especially in your retirement, because what goes up comes down. We will have another bear market, another bull market, another bear market, another bull market before you retire. But gold is always gold, especially in panicky times. And there's a little bit of a panic on the China-India border, which I will cover in the course of today's show. Let me tell you, today we've got a lot going on. Admiral James Stavridis will be joining me to talk about that India-China standoff. Selena Zito will be here making up for her Monday miss because we had a holiday in the Semper Fi America's Fun show. Maine Senator Angus King and Wisconsin Representative Mike Gallagher. Angus King, the independent from Maine who caucuses with the Democrats. Mike Gallagher, the Republican congressman who you hear here often, are co-chairs of the Cybersecurity Solarium Commission. And that's a big deal. And I think in phase 4, it will be an even bigger deal. I'll be joined by the Director of Strategic Communications by Trump Pence 2020, Mark Lauder, and by Delaware Senator Chris Coons, Democrat. Lots going on today. Don't miss any of it. But let's begin with Donald Trump at the White House yesterday. His attitude towards seniors on center stage yesterday, cut number 13.
Soon, nearly half of all eligible Part D and Medicare Advantage prescription drug plans will offer this low-cost option. And when you say low cost, you're really talking low cost, giving seniors the freedom and choice to pick the plan that's right for them. Nothing will ever stop me from fulfilling my solemn duty to America's seniors.
Right there. That contrasts with, of course, the disasters that has happened in many nursing home communities across the United States. Not the president's job, it's the governor's job. And he addressed that, cut number 15.
We're using every tool at our disposal to protect our nursing homes from outbreaks. You saw the disaster of how badly some of the governors handled nursing homes. It's a disgrace what they've done. What some of the governors have done is a disgrace.
He is very upset about that, and people should know, look, everyone's doing the best they can, but some governors did punt this badly, and most of those who did so are Democrat. It's not a partisan issue, but the media is attempting to frame this as Donald Trump is responsible for people dying. That's not true. I don't think anyone is responsible except the Chinese government. But if you're going to play that game, you've got to play the game fair. Who made the decisions to put infected people into nursing homes? Name Andrew Cuomo. I don't blame Andrew Cuomo. He did it. His department's responsible for it. He was the fair-haired boy of the first coronavirus couple of weeks, but now people don't talk about that much. He didn't intend for people to die. People just had to scramble, and that's all there is to it. And I personally believe if the economy is back on its feet, Donald Trump will be reelected rather easily. And that's what's happening. We are rebound. You know how I know it's happening? The Wild Adventure, TWA.us, has announced they're going forward with their June, July camping. Now, you've heard me talk about the Wild Adventure for years on this. It may be the best experience anyone can have. Dwayne and I have both gone. 5 days up in the Montana mountain wilderness, fishing, talking with great guys, eating great food. I mean, it is the time of your life. Some people call it the best week in your life. Here is the founder of TWA.us, Jan Janura, talking with one fellow, Todd Stover. And I play this because they told me yesterday they have a few spaces for the June camps where people just changed their mind at during the shutdown. They just said they couldn't come. They had conflicts. So they have a few spaces to open up in June. And they're packed for the whole summer and they're going out. But in June, they need to fill out a couple of spaces. Here's one guy who went, Todd Stover, cut 25.
I'm here with
Todd Stover.
Todd. Where are you from?
Kansas City.
Kansas City? The Kansas part of it?
Kansas part of it, yeah.
Because there's two Kansas Cities, right?
Right. So you've got a Kansas and a Missouri.
Yeah.
But I live right by the state line. I'm close.
So you can vote in both?
No.
Oh, too bad.
No, but I could probably hit a golf ball into Missouri from my house if it was a good hit.
And where are you right now?
I am in God's country. Yeah.
Really? Where's that?
Montana.
Montana?
Yeah.
Yes, sirree, the last best place.
The last best place.
And what are you doing?
Fishing, finding my heart, communing with guys, communing with God, having a lot of great questions asked.
Really? It almost sounds like a retreat, but I know you hate retreats like I do.
Yeah, I don't.
But this wasn't a retreat, was it?
We don't retreat. We go forward.
So, what was the most unique part of this week for you?
Just the ability to hear God's voice loudly, clearly. I usually have a hard time hearing it sometimes, and here it was very, very loud.
And what did he have to say to you?
Well, he told me that trust was something that I really needed to focus on with him. Just trusting him, and where I'm at is where he wants me to be. And there's still a lot of really good things that he wants me to do and experience in life before I get to leave and go to his kingdom. And just the unique, special relationship I have with my wife. How big of a blessing it is.
Huh. Mm-hmm. Well, great to be with you, man.
Great to be with you.
Okay,
thank you,
glad
buddy.
you're up here.
Go and check out TWA.us, The Wild Adventure. TWA.us. Great fishing, great Madison River trout fishing. I fished out the river I've been 3 times. Dwayne didn't catch anything, but if you go, you'll just say that's the best week I've ever spent. TWA.us. They've got openings in June, and I'll be right back, America. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Wednesday morning edition of the Hugh Hewitt Show.